You are now listening to the Purpose Pod, hosted by Alan Levi Simmons. This podcast is a platform to give listeners an inside perspective on purpose, business, and life experiences. If you're interested in finding purpose or discovering paths that could lead you into your purposeful life, this is the podcast for you. Thank you for tuning in. It's time for the Purpose Pod.
Yeah. Oh my God. I just got a little pumped up watching him finish that race right there. Like every time I watch it, it's just so crazy and magnificent. But welcome to the Purpose Pod, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Yes, it's a different setup because I got a different guest coming on and I had to get it right for my boy. So I'm about to bring on someone spectacular. I'm talking about running game is phenomenal. This guy can run from east to west, from north to south, from North Dakota to South Dakota. I don't know if they line up in that way, but he can run that. So I'm about to bring on Coach Darius Moore. Let's bring him on, ladies and gentlemen. Coach Moore, what it do? What's up, brother?
What's going on, Alan? How you doing, man?
I'm blessed, bro. I'm blessed. You know, I got to cut up a little bit.
I see. That is an intro right there. I appreciate that, man.
No doubt, bro, man. So first and foremost, thank you so much for blessing me with your time. And I know you got your business going on. I know you got family going on and COVID's going on, but I really am thankful for you being here, man. And what we met, what was it last year? Was it this year? Or was it last year?
I was telling my daughter, I think it was last year, 2019.
It was last year, close to the end of last year, I believe, right? Like November, maybe, or something like that. But we met at E. Michelle's event, and that was just a dope encounter because I was like, oh, you know, these guys run. I had a future of running. I was dreaming about running, but I never really got. Oh, you know what, bro? I did do like, all right, so I did like I won't even say miles. I probably did a couple of feet, you know, the other I did a couple of feet the other day, but it was probably about 45 feet.
If you count in kilometers, bro, it sound long. I'm telling you.
It sound long, yeah. I might have to
switch over to kilometers, you'll be good.
Right. I'm gonna switch over to the kilometers though. But you know, man, so I think it's just awesome that one, you know, you run. Like I don't know a lot of grown men who like to run except for my homeboy Ryan Farmer. I got to connect with y'all. I got to connect y'all together. But so you do this running thing, and we're going to go over your life. We're going to talk about you running, and we're just going to talk about you as a family man and as a man as well. So, but I'm going to go ahead and just introduce you to my audience. Like I said, guys, this is Coach Darius Moore, and he's a part of More Moves. He owns More Moves, actually. And you know, here's his IG right here, Busy Overboard. That's it. Oh, that's the shirt, right? I like the shirt. You got it cut off too.
Yeah, man, I got some stuff dropping in about 2 weeks, so I'm working, man.
Yeah, you got a shout out right here. Gary says, "Love Coach Moore." What up, Gary?
Yes, sir. That's Gary Hayden. I used to train his daughter in cross country, and she is a phenomenal tennis player too.
Wow. So that's awesome, man. So I'm glad your support system is here, you know, and you know, so let's go ahead and jump in. Like you're from Charlotte, North Carolina. I just so happen to live here right now. So you know, how is that being from Charlotte? What's that like right now, especially with the height of like with, you know, police brutality and just, you know, innocent lives being killed and even black on black crime right now, and it's happening a lot in Charlotte. How do you feel about that right now?
I mean, it's real. I mean, it was a lot worse when I was a kid. I mean, I've been here 33 years. It was, you know, I come from the west side, Tuckasegee, Freedom Drive. It was a little bit rougher. It was a little more prevalent then. Now that we have social media, you know, it's happening a lot. I don't want to say that's caused. Definitely won't say that's causing it, but it's just publicizing it on a greater scale. So, I mean, it's definitely tougher to deal with. More conversations have to be had with the youth about it. You have to console these young minds and young emotions and try to help them understand. Because I mean, we'll never be in their shoes. We'll never be able to view the world through their eyes. But
Right.
I think you just have to have those conversations. And I mean, with me having girls, I just try to be eye level with them, so to say, and sit them down and kind of tell them like, hey, the best way we can counteract this is, positive reinforcement. Try to learn the best ways to live healthy, live strong, keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah.
I always say the greatest weapon against adversity is adaptability. And
I like
if
that.
you can stay adaptable with this, with the current climate, man, you can thrive and help your fellow man. And I'm
Yeah.
all about that. I took my girls to a huge Juneteenth celebration on Friday. It was at Beatties Road, and it was great. Cars paraded down. I saw
Yeah.
some homies from back in the day. Saw some new faces. It was great time on Friday. It was sad that Saturday night and Sunday, happened to end negatively during that celebration. But for the time, it was, we had a great time. My family had a great time. They knew why we were there to
Yeah.
celebrate that independence of people of color during that time. And it was a great celebration. But I mean, how I feel about it right now, it's frustrating to see it. It's I know that I'm not political. I don't have any political offices, so I can't do but so much to change it. But the things I
Right.
can do is kind of help people again become stronger, become aware. So anytime I become well informed, I try to share that knowledge. I don't try to hoard that knowledge.
Yeah.
I'm never afraid to do that and just have those conversations with anybody who's willing to listen and accept it.
Yeah. And that's good, man, because and like you said, that Juneteenth celebration,
Hmm.
unfortunately things did go wrong afterwards, but
Yeah,
it wasn't created for people to start stuff. You know what happens in communities where, a
of
lot of
course.
younger, it's the younger generation mainly, like they're out there having a good time, but then somebody maybe offends the other person, and we don't
Hmm.
have that wisdom in the African American community for our young adults to have wisdom and say, you know what, I
Hmm.
won't shoot this guy. Maybe I should just ask this guy to put on some gloves. Let's go in the
Yeah,
backyard and just throw some hands. Something like that.
yeah.
I'm just like, please, bro, we don't gotta keep killing each other. Like
Nah,
seriously, right?
it's ways to resolve
Ah,
it other ways, and we just gotta figure out how we can teach that younger generation to show restraint and
mhm.
communicate a little bit better, communicate a bit more effectively.
Right. Facts, facts. And Deshay says the greatest weapon against adversity is adaptability. Like you said, yeah, that's
Hmm.
definitely one to quote. We're gonna have to keep that on the board. I might have to put that on my website somewhere. But
There we go. Throw that
yeah,
out there, baby.
throw that out there. But I wanted to make sure
Yeah.
I spent some time talking about this, man, because it's not
Hmm.
like this stuff isn't happening. And I know it's the talk of the
Yeah.
town and it's on the news, but a lot of people don't get the authentic side of this conversation. They usually hear the hearsay, like, oh, maybe Darius said this about Black Lives Matter or whatever. And
Hmm.
but for me, I'm very passionate about this stuff, but I've had
Hmm.
to like step away a little bit about for the Black Lives Matter as far as a corporate whole, as far as a
Hmm.
organization, and really ask myself, like, are we as Black people really serious about this, or are we just putting it on a shirt and then tattooing ourselves on the arm like Black Lives
Yeah.
Matter, and then that's it, because we still see, and I'm not going to go into this so deep, but I just got to talk to you about this because it's Charlotte. We're
Yeah.
here in Charlotte though, but
Yeah. For sure.
when you see people watching people do ignorant stuff, like let's say
Hmm.
break down somebody's car, or break open somebody's car, or break somebody's window, or bust open the
Hmm.
police department and set that on fire. People are watching this, but
Yep.
no one's stopping it from happening. And I don't believe that we should harm the police officers. I don't believe that
Hmm.
we should burn their property. I believe that a simple communication or discussion could happen to where we could come to an agreement. Like, so what would you say? Like, what would you do to bring peace? And that's my one question I'll ask with this, and then we'll move on. So what would you do to bring peace here in Charlotte and America?
Uh, Without taking up too much time,
Mhm.
I would start off with the first thing you were saying. I try not to generalize. I try not
Mhm.
to bunch everything under one banner. And I understand that a lot of people have, again, we live in an information age where it's coming every second, it's coming every minute, and we're being fed so much information. It's hard to kind of wade through what's truth, what's fact, what's opinion. But I believe in core principles such as compartmentalization, individualization. So Black Lives Matter as a statement, I strongly believe in it, because no whole race or no whole group of people should be forced to ask for the bare minimum of acknowledgement. So just saying, oh, Black Lives Matter, me saying that to people, that shouldn't alarm anyone. I'm just saying that Black Lives matter. I'm not saying Black lives are superior. I'm not saying Black lives are, stronger. I'm not saying Black lives are rich. I'm not saying any of that to, diminish another group of people. I'm saying Black Lives Matter as opposed to, man, the things that I'm seeing publicly leads me and my children to believe otherwise, that we don't even matter. Like, let alone we're not celebrated for things that we accomplished and things that, come with that. And, whether you're a person of color or a white person, things that you do, you want to be celebrated for, whether it's something you do on your job, or say you have an accolade, you break a Guinness World Record, you want to be celebrated in some fashion. And to tell again, you're telling a whole group of people on a global scale, you're showing them, day after day, we can put a knee on your neck. We can hang you behind a tree in 2020. We can come in your house while you sleep. We can shoot, you can shoot your kid while he outside playing with a toy gun. And it's, if it was balanced, if I didn't see people that had my face these things were being done to, I wouldn't speak so much to the statement of Black Lives Matter. Again, that's to the statement. I don't support any corporations wholeheartedly. Only corporations that people can say that Darius Moore supports, they're putting money in my account. And the only people that do that are companies that I respect. And that's, those are all on my resume. Those are all on my social media accounts. Any corporation or individual, such as the Purpose Pod, you see me associated with, I believe in them wholeheartedly. And that's, that's how I go with the whole Black Lives Matter thing. I hope that, people don't, again, you're being fed a lot of information. Try to compartmentalize things, try to individualize things, try to use your reasoning and rationale as as a full-fledged adult. Like, come on, we've been taught that, propaganda is a real thing. Like, it's not an urban myth. It happens. It's, it's okay. Some of us choose to watch mainstream media all the time without actually going to go pick up the books. There's you have a movie like The Book of Eli, where the last thing this guy was holding on to is the written word. Like that should tell you a little something. That's the value of the word. Like, you can go read some facts and, again, make your own judgment. And, hopefully, your stance on the subject, or your stance on Black Lives Matter, or your stance on anything related to it doesn't yield a violent outcome, because that's not what I want. That's not what I desire in supporting Black Lives Matter or supporting any corporation or entity that I support. I don't want a violent outcome. I don't desire that at all. So
exactly.
That's
I'm glad you shared that, bro. And it's important for people to understand where we stand, and a lot of people think just because you're a Black person that, oh, you're a Black Lives Matter supporter. Or if you say Black Lives Matter, it sucks that it's sticking with this organization, and like people, even if people in the organization meant good, because I don't know these people, but we only see what's happening in the streets. We see people who are strategically burning stuff down, and we know people, like, I'm pretty sure you had some homeboys back in the day, maybe, or you knew somebody that was just a little ridiculous, and they would do a little extra stuff. You'd be like, dude, you didn't even have to knock that over, like.
Nah.
So, but I just wanted to say that because a lot of people think that it's all Black people going out there being evil. And I felt tension between me and like my white friends, like not even my white friends, but white strangers too. Like, it's just like I'm walking in the garage and I got let me show you. I'm walking in the garage, right? And I got this on, and I look like this with my mask on, and I feel nervous because I'm like, well, they can't see my eyes. barely. And I, you know, and I walked past this older white lady in the garage in a South Park area earlier today.
Yeah.
And I felt nervous for her. And I was like, oh God, like she's nervous and I'm nervous that she might be nervous. You know, so I feel like what we have going on, like you said, like we're pulling sources from other places. Everybody think everybody mad at them and nobody is really talking like, hey, you know what? Truth is, you know, Black Lives Matter and it hasn't been so let's make that correction so that all lives matter. Bam. Cool.
Exactly.
So yeah, we understand each other. I'm glad that's why you're on the show, you know, because we understand each other, brother. We understand each other.
You know.
Yeah. So Darius, man, like you're coaching runners and you work at 9 Round. You're a trainer at 9 Round as well. So I want to go into the coaching runners. You coach a lot of youth. You coach adults as well. So what's the most enjoyable part about coaching people on running?
I kind of say, and I used to have a saying when I first started a couple years, probably like 5-6 years ago. And I was telling a lot of my groups, like, man, I really enjoy being a part of your fitness journey. Like, I really enjoy the feedback from their accomplishments. Like, to see someone go from, you know, they came into a program and they maybe had that mindset, man, I can't run a mile. I can't run longer than 10 minutes. I can't run longer than 10 seconds. And I would always, I value positive reinforcement so much, and I know that the power of the word is that strong. If I just agitate them with it, if you let me agitate you with it and keep drilling it into you, you're gonna do it. Like, I already know you can, because I know the body, I know what I've studied, I know anatomy, I know the biomechanics, I understand how things work. Neuromuscular efficiency is always the goal, and that's just the combination of the bones and the muscles and the neurons all working together efficiently. But that's always the goal. But it's always a continuous journey to get there. And I just appreciate being a part of that story. So and with everyone, it's a different story. It's a different journey. It's a different walk. It's a different stride. It's a different it's different pains. You know, you go through times where, and we're taught, like, you know, of course, gender specific, you know, it plays a role in production. It plays a role in competition. That's why we have, you know, great athletes like Serena Williams, who to me is like the greatest. Like, she's a beast. Yeah, she's a monster.
Beast mode.
Yeah, like if you ever want to question Serena Williams' greatness, like, just remember she won the highest level of her sport while pregnant. A lot of y'all won't walk to the driveway pregnant.
Come on.
Just saying. Keep it 1,000. Keep it 1,000.
Keep it 1,000.
You know, Mike Jordan played from food poisoning one night. She had to go play the highest level of her sport in the middle of the heat. No roof, no air conditioning, and she was pregnant. So just saying, you know, that's right. I always take things like that, and, you know, what I've learned, and I appreciate everyone's journey, and that's what really, I guess, keeps me humble about it. It keeps me hungry about it. It keeps me a student of my craft, which is why I can always come to my clients or members of the gym, and if they tell me something's hurting, I want to be the encyclopedia for them. I want to be the guy, like, yeah, you can go to the sports doctor, but you can also just, you know, stretch that thing out, you know, hit an anterior pelvic tilt where you lift your hip, you know, rotate your hips forward and grab that toe and go into a dorsiflexion. And those ways you engage that, stretch that hamstring a little bit more and engage your glutes. So it's just things like that. I'm always a student of the game. So anytime it's like, you know, Cass, man, how do I fix this, Demo? You know, I really got this big run coming up. I got a Spartan coming up. I got burpees coming up, whatever the case may be. I mean, we're all adults. We have to go to work, and even that's strenuous to a point, depending on what you're doing. But I just tell folks, I mean, if you have a job where you're seated most of the time you're there, try to work out on your breaks. Like, try to, especially working from home right now, throw that headset on. If you're fortunate enough to have a Bluetooth headset or wireless headset, stand up, bang out like 10 squats, bang out like 10 push-ups, in between calls. You know, do that to kind of keep yourself going. That way, at least you can look back at the end of that 24 hours of the day and say, man, I did something. Yeah. Like, I ain't let 24 hours go by.
That sound like me though. That sound like something that I do. When you said that, I felt so bad. Like, when you said it, I was like, man, he's talking about me. I didn't, you know, because I'm like, I'm in my mind, I'm like, man, I want to get fit. And I told you before, I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I want to go running. I didn't waste your time. I was like, I don't even want to waste this brother time because I'll hit you up. I don't want to hit you. I want to hit you up when I'm ready. You know, like I was like, yeah, more. I want to get some running in. He was like, yeah, hit me up anytime. It's been like a whole year already.
Come on, anytime, man.
But that's dope though. So
I got
you
plenty of groups that's going.
Yeah. So you said that you were talking about doing some interior, exterior flexibility. Then I was I was imagining it. So what was that for?
So when you talk about planes of movement, so your anterior and posterior. So the anterior would be the front of our bodies, the posterior would be the back of our bodies. Okay. So when you tell someone to rotate their hips, anterior pelvic tilt, I'm asking them to rotate their hips forward, extend their leg. And then when I say dorsiflexion, I'm asking them to point their toes towards themselves and then reach for that toe. And you should feel a really nice, like I'm doing it right now. I feel a really good pull right behind my knee.
I was about to, but I was probably going to pull something.
Hey, I always exercise caution. Listen to your body. Listen to your body. Know yourself.
Right. Come on. Know yourself.
Yes, sir. I'm a strong practitioner in that. And that's another reason that I think is kept me in the game of the fitness realm, like in people of Charlotte who's either taken a class from me or has even been a part of any of the programs that I have at other sites that I don't lead personally, but the programs are there. Part of our retention is I'm approachable. Like you can come to me and say, hey, I drank a lot of stuff last night. Okay, that's no problem. Like we gonna scale this back to make it work for you. Like if maybe you had an injury with your knee ain't feeling too hot, no problem. You still are on a weight loss journey or you're on a bulk up journey. I can hit those same muscles and be stationary. It's called isometrics. You know, you have isometric, you got eccentric and concentric. Concentric being the utmost contraction of your muscles, eccentric being the extension, isometric being placing stress on the muscle while it's stationary. So if I'm just sitting there, an example of how you can train yourself isometrically, stand there and hold 2 bags of groceries. Notice your shoulders start to wear out, right? That's isometric tension. So just tension on your muscles while you're doing minimal movement.
Yeah.
And then
so these are things people can do at home.
Yeah, I mean, you can work out anytime. You can work out anytime. Trust me, the bulk of my workouts are calisthenics for myself because I know that my passion is running, so I need to be lighter on my feet. I also need to have some muscle on me because if anything pop off, like I said, I got daughters, I got a wife, I'm prepared for that too. But for I don't get too big. I don't get showy. You know what I'm saying? That ain't for me. But I've trained people to get in shows, you know, people that need to sculpt down. You know, I can sculpt you if you give me a good base. Yeah, I can get you sculpted in 2-3 weeks. You just, we can get to it. So knowing that I have that in my arsenal, like I've just been in the game, like I say, about 8 or 9 years now. I've been coaching, running, I've been training boot camps, I've been joining in on boot camps, and like I say, being a student of the game, I've gone to like STAX boot camp. I've taken that. I've gone to Orange Theory when they first popped up in Charlotte. I almost worked for them before I took the 9-round job, which love Orange Theory, love their program, but I've had a phenomenal journey with 9-round Dilworth. We've had I've been there 5 years. It's been a really, really good time. We've been the #1 location in the world 4 years of the 5 years I've been there. So I'm super proud of being a part of that. We got recognized big time in Vegas for it last year. Had a great time when we did that. Got to go to Floyd Mayweather gym, and it was it was.
Would you get in with him? Would you get in with him? I'm just playing.
I'm not getting in with him at all. And he wasn't. And luckily, he wasn't there because it would have been.
Would have been hurt.
I would have tried to take like his sweat towel or something to get his autograph.
Right. Hey, bro, you need me to wipe his sweat off.
You feel me? That's the best in the business. But his gym is dope. We just got to meet his trainers and punch on a couple of the bags. But it was nice, man.
Yeah, and that's dope, man. So you've been traveling. And I know, like we spoke at brunch. We went on a brunch one time or 2 times. I think we went twice.
We've been twice.
Yeah, we've been twice.
I remember. I think we did Uptown.
Uptown, and then First Watch was the other one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. First one.
They're not paying us though. We can't say their name on here. So I'm just playing.
Oh yeah, we plugging them.
Plugging them in. I'll just play. Hey, but so you you broke a record, right? The video that we watched earlier was you breaking a record, right? I wanted to actually show that one more time real quick, if you don't mind, because I know a lot of people didn't catch that, but it's going to go into what you were talking about, like even with Serena and like even with just the mindset of being a champion and being a winner and just going out there and getting what you want. I feel like this is a great example of that. So I'm about to just play that again real quick, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah.
And because this is dope. So is it showing? It's showing? Yeah. There we go. Right here. Here we go. So like, what were you feeling? Hold on, I gotta pause. I gotta do this like the game, like every all right. So here we are at this very moment. What was going through your mind? Because this dude was in front of you, right?
Yes, the guy in the pink.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird, bro. Like this is a really, really big race in my life, and not just on some like breaking the Guinness World Record, just the people that were there, it being in my city. And the support I got from the running community, it was pivotal in all of those points. Like Black Men Run, which is another nonprofit run group I support strongly. I'm a part of their board of directors here in Charlotte. And they were out there big time. Like we had challenged like the Atlanta chapter, and it was like North Carolina versus Georgia. Not just Atlanta. It was like North Carolina versus Georgia. So we battled it out, and my Guinness finish was a part of that. So I'm like, not only do I gotta hit this time, which the time I had to beat was 1:35.
Wow.
I had to get below 1:35, run 13.1 miles, and some of those miles were on trail because of where we ran from. We started in Ballantyne. So if you look up race 13.1 in Charlotte, it takes place in Ballantyne, and Ballantyne is not flat. It is not an easy course. So it was like, man, a lot went into it. And I mean, again, me just being hungry, like my parents instilling in me, my family instilling in me a resiliency that only thing I can compare to it is a professional athlete. Like I don't know anybody that's hungrier for it. When I set a type of goal like that, a fitness goal, I don't know nobody that's hungrier than me. At least not, I haven't met them in person.
Right.
I'll say that.
So, because I like where we're at, that's why I said authentic conversation, because, so like you're saying something that a lot of people struggle with. Like they struggle with that hunger. They struggle with doing this last part right here where you got to pass the person that's in front of you, and even you can put that in anything with work. Somebody started before you, starting a business, someone started before you, but you did right here was walk him down. So what kind of is that training, or was that like, were you prepared to do that, or what happened? How did this happen? Was it adrenaline? Like, how did you get that extra,
So it combination of, I'll say about three things. One, I had my best friend Johnny Crump at the time, and I think my boy Byron Perry, who works with me at 9 Round, they ran out about half a mile from the finish line. And caught me coming around the curve and was like, yo, Demo, you got 1 minute to get across this line.
Wow.
And I didn't look at my watch when they said it. I immediately believed them, and I was like, oh no, and take off. I said, no. They told me I had 1 minute to break the record, but in reality I had like 3 or 4. But so them coming at me with that. Yeah, I'm a Taurus. Like, I'm prideful. I'm hungry. I'm like, I'm in my city. These, Black Men Runner came up from Georgia. It's a lot. It's a lot on the line. I'm like, I'm not finna lose it off of a minute. Half a mile, 800. I was like, okay, half a mile in a minute. I'm not even doing the math. Like, they asked me to run a 800 in a minute. No way I can do it.
That's not even possible.
Possible. But I'm like, no way I'm letting this shit slip. So I go. And the guy in the pink, I had seen him early in the race, probably around mile like 10 is when he passed me.
Yeah.
So he had me miles ago. And when I saw him again, we bend a corner, come down the hill, we bend a corner. And if you notice, we're on a straightaway now.
Right.
Flat, coming all the way in. I say, now this is my bread and butter. I've run track. I can do the 100. No problem. I say, I'm running this thing like 100. I pump my arms. get him going, get the fists up high, knees up high, and I'm saying, I'm not letting this go. He got a pink shirt on. He's obviously not from here. No way.
Let me show the. Look at this. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Like, look at it. Oh, let me go back. Let me go back. This guy right here. And he's ripped. And he's ripped, guys. He's ripped. This guy's ripped out here acting the fool. But
I had so much like added weight on too because I had the costume on. But I'm like, and no offense to pink shirts. Like I wear, don't get me wrong. But what my point is, whatever you need to tell yourself. Right. It's your world mentally. Again, the power of the world, the power of the mind, whatever you need to tell yourself in that moment to get it done, go get it done. Like for me, I mean, in dire straits, my kids are at the finish line.
Right.
In dire straits, if I really got to get there, what are you telling yourself? What are you telling? And be real with yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, yo, if you have kids, if you have parents, whoever that most valuable person is in your life, are you really prepared to tell them I wasn't good enough?
Wow.
And that's what I break it down to. Like it sounds for some people that's a harsh reality. You know, you don't know how to swim, but you got kids. You don't know how to swim. You don't know how to operate, you know, handicap procedures. You don't know CPR. You don't know first aid, which I've been certified for 8 years.
Yeah.
And I go get recertified every 2 years, first aid and CPR. And it's a small price to pay. It's like $100 for the class. Like sometimes you can get it cheaper than that. But I say all that to don't be proud of not knowing. What are you proud of not knowing for? What are you proud of not having the ability for? Like what's that about? What is that about? And that's not a young generation thing. That's not an old generation thing. That's people, period. That's not a person of color thing. That's any walk of life, any color I've ran into. People have struggles with that. And like I say, in dire straits, visualize that person. And are you really prepared to say, man, I can't even swim 3 feet to you?
Right.
So you gotta
watch
go.
them drown or
you gotta watch. What else are you doing? It's only you. It's only you and them. It's only you and them. When you tell yourself you're competing with yourself, you know, athletes tell themselves that all the time. I'm competing with myself. I'm competing with that 9.8 I ran. You know, Usain Bolt is always competing with himself. He's the greatest in the world. Who else is he competing with? But in your mind, in your race, you should be the greatest. You should be the strongest. I don't play at being a father. I don't play at being a husband. I do this. It's my job. It's one of my jobs. I love it. I'm going to be passionate about it. The same commitment I gave to the Fortune 500 companies I used to grind for and climb the corporate ladder for. I've never left a job at entry level, and I'm 33 years old.
Yeah. Wow.
I was, you know, first time I was promoted to supervisor, I was 16 at a movie theater. I was promoted to supervisor. I was having to tell cats that was 30-something years old what to do.
Right.
And so,
they ain't like that.
But hey, I earned it.
I
earned it. Like me and my wife, we met at the movie theater 15 years old. So
wow.
I was her supervisor at one point in time. And you know, it was, that thing we had to go through. But you know, we've had that experience. And
now she's
my baby.
Supervisor.
Exactly.
Hey, and then quick commercial break while we're there. Let me go ahead. I'm gonna get to this because I gotta interview your wife too. But this is her book. This is her book. I wanted to make sure I had it on hand right here. So Vanilla Setbacks, Tanika Moore. So I just wanted to shout her out because you know her husband's on here, and I'm gonna get her on here. So we're gonna do that. I just wanted to do that quick plug so y'all can get that on Amazon, or you can go to a website, right? You can go to Amazon website.
You can go to Amazon and get it. You can go to authorhouse.com and get it as well. But Vanilla Setbacks, and she's been working on part 2. Please enjoy part 1. But yes, my baby worked really hard on that, promoting the mess out of that. Love it.
Definitely. Yeah, I had to plug that in while we was there.
Appreciate it.
On your supervisor.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man. That's what it's all about, man. You know, and I was really excited to talk to you because of your grind and of like just your wife's book. I was like, man, they out here doing this, you know what I mean? And you was like, you was plugging her on in. He was like, hey, look, wipe out a butt, right? You know, and
Yep.
like you said, you're taking your job seriously. So what I want to lead into now, and like I told you, like everybody, like they're gonna know that you're a runner. I love the news that you're giving us right now. Like this is dope. This is what I like right here. I'm extracting knowledge because you've taken like what you've been through in life, and it's just not, it's only for running. Whatever you've gone through, you can apply it to everything else, and that's what you're doing with us, today. And I feel like that's very important for people to catch it. So I want to talk because what you're saying, I feel like there's people out there right now who have goals and dreams, but they are afraid to show up to the race because they're too big, they're too small, they're too this, they're too that. So what do you say to those people who always have an excuse for not starting their race?
And
that was off the top question. I'm sorry, bro.
Real. I appreciate it though.
You can play with it. This whatever you do.
So what I would say to kind of nullify the excuses, I mean, if you're having a tough time starting your race, you're gonna have to minimize the distractions, and a lot of current distractions in the current climate are just media, TV, Netflix, these popularity contests where we feel like if we can't converse with a certain group of people, we're less than. We're diminished. Our value is diminished because I can't converse. I can't keep up with this group of people. But go back to yourself, value yourself, and find your center, and know that, okay, the people I do want to converse with, go get with them. Go find them. It's all right. Like those people are not always going to look like you. They're not always going to be family. They're not always going to be old classmates. They're not always going to be the people that genetically or just you feel like, or you've been taught that religiously they should be those type of people. They are not going to be, and that's fine. You know why that's fine? Because YOLO. You only got one life in here, man. You don't know when you checking out.
Don't know.
You don't know when you checking out, man.
Nobody knows.
You don't. One thing my grandma always told me, everybody know when they was born. Everybody know their birth date. They don't know when they gonna clock out.
Nope.
And not having that knowledge, why are you wasting so much time trying to, I guess, convert certain audiences or certain people into the people or audiences you wish to be around? If you can't find those people, feel the dreams, build it, and they will come.
Exactly.
People told me, family told me, friends told me, charlatan, a lot of folks told me, yo, Demo, you running? You paying to run? You out there selling shoes like Al Bundy? Straight up. Like, I'm in the shoe store, locally owned running stores, and they was on some, what are you doing, bro? Like, you doing that as a grown man? I'm like, okay. And I get it, because nobody will understand that the finish line but you. They'll never understand like the miniature goals I had, because you don't know, like me as a child, how I taught myself, how I would lock myself in libraries for hours. Like I wasn't in gangs. I stayed off Tuckasegee, but I wasn't in no trouble on my own. Like I never put myself in those environments purposely. Like if I get into something, I'm well equipped to defend myself, and that's all I was taught from my family. Self-preservation, number one. But go learn things and put yourself in peaceful environments. So I used to lock myself in libraries, man, like for hours, and would walk home to my grandmother's house, walk home to my mom's house. Sometimes they'd pick me up, whatever. But just soaking up that knowledge, and valuing that, and knowing that ultimately, okay, I'm doing this running store thing because in the end, more moves is gonna thrive. I can go into this locally owned running store that's not Foot Locker. Foot Locker focuses on popular shoes from every sport. That's saturated. That's you going into a saturated market, and that's you going into a big box, big machine. How can you even hope to be valued as an individual in that big machine? So my plan, fly under the radar, go to these locally owned stores. You go to the people. These are the people you know in the city is shopping here. They're going to know you. They're going to tell the people about you, and they're strategically placed in certain neighborhoods that have greater advantages. So why not me go learn that game, me go get in that game and go soak up this knowledge and soak up these values and soak up these skills. And I give my knowledge away. Like, as you can see in this interview, anybody that comes around me, and any of my friends, any of my running clubs or clients or members that I'm a part of, they know Darius Moore is an open book. You come talk to me, I'm gonna share with you what I know. Like, I know, I still know about shoes. I know about, what type of shoes to get and why you should go get a shoe test, a gait analysis, if you will, and do those type of things, because again, I believe in proper function of the body, proper biomechanics. So again, those type of stores value that as well. Charlotte Running Company, Run for Your Life, Omega Sports, Ultra Running Company. These Ultra Running Company wasn't around at the time, but those other three that I mentioned, they value those things, and I support them in that. And I supported them when I was an employee. I ran tons of races and met so many different types of people. And again, it just helped me stay focused. I saw that my life was becoming what I wanted it to be. Like, I wanted simple things. I'm 33 now. At the age of when I started running distance, I was probably like 22 or 23.
You're 23.
Bam, there we go. Like Jordan.
Right.
23, cranked it out. And I just remember, like, okay, eventually years from that, I needed to make a living off of it. My mother came to me. I remember my best friend, who's also my cousin, Radon, he came to me, and it was like, man, you got to make some money off this running thing. Like, you too talented, you too knowledgeable about it. Like, you out here, you're making money for certain entities, and you're, doing that for them, but do it for yourself and find out how. Cool. All right. Go to study LLCs, trademarks, and things of that nature, grind on my own, because you always have to minimize your costs. And you minimize your costs by soaking up so much information and being able to apply it and just be consistent with it. And so that's where I was able to build more moves and build relationship with companies where although I was an employee, they supported more moves almost as heavily as I supported them.
Wow. That's a blessing.
And because it's communication. It's I'm going to grind for you. I work for you as an employee. When I'm on the clock, I got you. Even when I'm off the clock, because you were good to me, I'm reciprocate, which is why you have me. I mean, I share for so many organizations, and some people come to me like, man, are you sponsored by them? Are they paying you for these commercials and things? I'm like, some of them aren't. Most of them are. About, I would say, like 80 to 85% of the people, the companies you see me share, I'm not getting any type of compensation for it per se, in capital, not in capital, but my compensation is, if I eat, you eat, we all should be able to eat.
Right.
Everybody should be able to eat, and it should be fun. Like, I'm not threatened by educating or coaching my competition. That's not a problem for me. You can come to me right now and I'll teach you how to be a run coach. And I'm not going to flinch off the success of more moves, because I know who I am, and I know what I built it on. I know my principles, and I know how to grow this thing.
Man, you over here preaching a sermon. But hey, that's real, bro, because I feel like we're the same person. But like I think the same way, bro, because like I share people's stuff. Like I gotta like look at my own stuff and be like, oh man, I gotta make sure I share my stuff, because I'm like, I see somebody's stuff and I'm like, oh, they came out with their book, or oh, they came out with this, or oh, they're doing this. Let me share it, because like we all have to understand, like you're saying, man, like we're not in a competition with each other. Like everybody's running their own race. And that's the thing about life. So like, I feel like, at one point, we're told you're competing, but nobody told us when the competition was over. So our whole lives, ever since elementary school, we've been competing, and we're competing against the next person. That's why you got the person that's struggling with math, and then the person that's not struggling with math sitting right next to each other. But since they're competing, he's not going to help him out, because he's going to get that A and he's going to get that F, right?
Exactly.
So what do you think makes you that way? Like, how could someone who's not, automatically, compassionate about other people, or, maybe they do like other people, but they don't share other people's stuff. Like, how could people start practicing, being more, what, of a friend to everyone, or being more supportive of people's dreams? How could people do that?
I would say, and this is corny, man. Like, for me to, like, me hearing myself say it is kind of corny, but because I work with the youth a lot,
Right.
like I relate it to them, and I got a half sleeve of superheroes on my arm just to let you know what I'm on. So it started with, man, me as a kid, like my biggest role model was superheroes. Like, I just valued the myth of somebody, no matter what they went through, no matter
Right.
how even the city they were from would turn their back on, no matter how tarnished their reputation may become, they still found a way to do the right thing and help their fellow man. Like, and it's
I
that,
like that.
sorry about that.
You
It's
get
it's that resolve that I kind of take to, man. Like, anytime anytime I think about, man, I really should ask them. I should, like, charge more. I should, I don't know, just be more capitalistic. But
right.
that's not that's not me. Like, I
Right.
can't. And when I was that type of person,
Mm-hmm.
those were darker times. I can look back on that person and know I didn't like that person. And
Wow.
what drove me to be that person, I hadn't been that person a lot of my youth, and got to high school and things got a little rough,
Yeah.
became an adult, had my kid at 18, and I got tunnel vision. I graduated in June. My daughter was born July 2nd,
Yeah.
by my wife, who I'm married to now.
Yeah.
And I got tunnel vision. I got a way of thinking that, I guess, companionship wasn't of value. Anybody that wasn't my daughter or a dollar
Yeah.
didn't really matter.
Right.
It didn't really. I mean, like, I wasn't vindictive. Like, I wasn't trying to hurt anyone
Right.
intentionally. But there are probably a few people from that time that would say, man, Darius was really nice, but you catch him on the wrong day, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I hate those times. But now, I mean, I had to get back to me. I had to get back to figuring out, man, why are things getting so dark? Why am I'm focused on my daughter and a dollar, but my capital isn't increasing effectively. I'm taking too many risks.
Yeah.
I'm jeopardizing my plans for her future. I'm jeopardizing the ideals that I set forth when I agreed to be her parent. When I told my wife in the delivery room, like, man, I'm gonna change over, like, I'm gonna do yeah. I wasn't doing it.
Yeah.
And I looked in the mirror and, like, told myself, like, man, I gotta slow down. So you just learn to, like, help. I mean, I don't know what the magic switch would be for people,
Yeah.
but I know that for me, it's just valuing, like, helping a person over hurting them, like collaboration over competition. If
Right.
you can't, why am I mean, I get you competing, but again, you can, just like you can read to yourself and read out loud and notice how that alters your environment. Take
Right.
that same practice to how you support someone. You can support
Man, that's
someone
good.
and compete with them mentally or subconsciously or just subtly.
Yeah.
Like, I compete with Gold's Gym. I'm in 9-round kickboxing, and
Yeah.
we're definitely competing with Gold's Gym. We're
Right.
competing with Planet Fitness. We're competing with all these different entities. But
Right.
do I go out and shade them? Do I
Right.
go out and tarnish their reputation intentionally? Why would
Right.
I do that?
Right.
They're gonna do, if they have any skeletons in their closet, they're gonna put those things, they're gonna make those things manifest. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat off of me.
Right. You got to
At
worry
the end
about
of the
you.
day. Yeah. And again, like, I mean, if people want your help, if they're receptive to it, try it. If they're not, no harm, no foul. Don't
Right.
get evil about it. Don't get don't get vengeful about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not worth it. Let
Yeah.
karma do its job. Go ahead and let
Mm.
karma do its job, and let the universe work itself out. The only
Yeah.
time I ever would see myself seeking vengeance if someone like physically harmed maybe one of my kids or my wife. But
Right.
that, again, I try my best to create a lifestyle where we minimize those risks, where we
Mm-hmm.
minimize those type of altercations, those type of incidents. And
Right.
successfully, my daughter's 15. She lives a
Wow.
pretty,
Awesome.
smooth life. She just came out of North Mech, ninth grade, with a
Yeah.
4.0. She swam varsity.
Woo!
Yeah, man, 4.0. We got we
That's
get the report
awesome.
cards in the mail because of COVID. The report cards came on the mail. She finished with a 4.0. She
Yeah.
swam varsity swim at North Mech, and I'm very proud of her. I'm very proud of my younger daughter, Jayla. She was doing dance,
Yeah.
cheering, as well as Girl Scouts, which my wife was helped leading that. She was a
Wow.
co-captain of the Girl Scouts. So it's like, and writing her book. So it was like
Wow.
doing Girl Scouts, working out,
Yeah.
cooking, being a wife, doing Girl Scouts, which she was a
Yeah.
former Girl Scout herself. My wife was Girl Scout on
Wow.
the west side of Charlotte. It's
Yeah.
not a lot of people talking about that. And again, like, there's so much that I learned from being on the west side of Charlotte. Like, not just, one of the greatest gifts was my wife being given to me, and that's why I met her at West Meck High School. But so many different things I can attribute my success to just being raised in Charlotte and being on the
Mm-hmm.
west side of Charlotte specifically.
Yeah. So the West Side is where children struggle, or what is that? I guess I've never been on the West Side.
No. I bet you have.
I've been on
So
Freedom Drive. I've been over there. I've been over there. I'm just messing with you. I've
exactly.
been over there.
So
I just never lived over there. I just
listen.
been over there though.
Oh, we lived all over, man. My
Yeah.
grandmother had a house for it might have been 40 years, maybe a little bit
Yeah.
longer, but her house was right by Hardin High School is where it was. My
Okay.
grandmother just passed away last year.
Wow. Sorry to hear
But
that,
she had
brother.
it. Yeah, man, tough. But love my grandmother. But
Yeah.
she had a house over there, bus stop right in front, had tons of friends, never met a stranger. She
Mm.
retired from Marita Bakery, used to clean houses over in Queens and Dilworth.
Yeah.
My grandmother's a very, very strong influence for me. And she's one of those,
Mm-hmm.
again, like, you gotta have memories and thoughts up here that keep you grounded and keep you focused. And
Right.
I just don't, when people say they have those excuses, and I'm like, okay, start scientifically. Scientifically, look at who you have in your family as your ancestors and your predecessors. Look
Mm-hmm.
at the strong women in your family. Look at the strong men in your family. Now,
Mm-hmm.
for me, the strongest person on either side of my family was my mother's mother,
Yeah.
grandmother. She
Mm-hmm.
had 10 kids. My mother was the 10th of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
7 girls, 3 boys.
Yeah.
Raised them all. All of her daughters, if I'm not mistaken, of all 7 were married and have been married.
Wow.
They're very, upstanding women.
Yeah.
And the 3 sons she had, love my uncles.
Mm-hmm.
And her grind, and like her having 10 kids and raising them on the west side of Charlotte, having a house for them, big backyard, big front yard,
Wow.
cook breakfast. Like, my grandmother's one of those
I
grandmothers
know
that
what
would
you mean
wake
about
up
that.
like 4 o'clock in the morning
Yeah.
on some, she cooking steak and eggs and steak and
Steak and
homemade
eggs.
hash browns. Like,
Oh
that's
Lord.
what we waking up to. Like, I lived with my grandmother a few times, so
Yeah.
I got to experience breakfast with her. I got to experience, my grandmother had a policy in her house where, even though she worked for Marita and would bring home desserts and bread and
Mm-hmm.
things like that, there wasn't, for about 3 days she might let go by where she would not have a fresh baked good in her house. She had to
Mm.
have a baked cake, banana pudding, peach cobbler. Something was
Yeah.
homemade that's sweet in her house.
Right.
Because if nothing else, not just her kids loved her cooking, 10
Right.
of them, her numerous grandkids
Right.
loved her food and would pop
Yeah.
up randomly. Because even as an adult, I'm
Right.
pulling up.
Right.
I'm coming through to see my grandma.
Right.
And it's just seeing things like that. And I saw my grandmother go through some ups, some downs,
Mm-hmm.
and her strength again, man, when you can, if you can't find, like, you should be able to find someone in your family and kind of know, again, scientifically, you came from that. So that's why I tell people, like, logically, if you can't get an opinion of yourself, if you can't form positive opinions about yourself, go factual, which is even a greater, which should even be a greater influence for you. But look at your family tree and look at your predecessors, your grandmothers, your grandfathers, and look at what they've done. If you don't know, go learn.
Right.
I sat down with all my grandparents and I learned about them. I learned about their parents. I can tell you about a few generations on my mother and my father's side because I was so curious about it as a kid. Like, I'm the kid that locked himself in libraries for hours. So again, my grandparents were my living libraries, if nothing else. And
I like that word there.
yeah, man, like, you know, I'm sure, Alan, you know, or know, people haven't heard the great African proverb, man. When you burn down, I mean, when a grandparent passes away or an elder passes away, it's like a library burning down in the village, man. Like, and I truly believe in that.
That's real, man. And you know what? It's so funny, like, hearing you share stuff. I'm like, I feel like I'm listening to myself, you know. But like, because my grandma had a lot of kids and stuff, and like I grew up around my grandmother too. I stayed there a lot. Grandma, I'd be licking the bowl, licking the pot, just everything, grits. My grandma used to have like about I want to say the junk had to been about 1.5 foot tall.
The big silver pot.
The big silver pot, bro.
Big silver pot. Yes, sir. And put like a whole stick of butter in there.
Yeah, bro. So like, you know, so yeah, you took me back. And I remember, like, man, when you were saying that, I just smelt the breakfast. Like, you know, when you wake up and like that breakfast is in your nose. Come on now. But
yes, sir.
But I'm gonna jump to the question though. Like, thank you for sharing that though, because
no problem.
Because before I do this, man, because a lot of people don't realize, you know, everything that we're saying, man, is it's like, yo, come on, like, step your game up. Like, don't look at other people, what they're doing, and think you're competing. You know, maybe you need a collab, you know, and finish the race. Whatever you got to do to finish the race, finish the race.
Finish the race. And one more thing I want to tell you, Alan.
Go ahead.
So to touch back on, so I was saying people to look at their past, you know, genetically, scientifically, that's where you're coming from. But also another key to it, and that'll also hold you accountable to do things like that. Put it into your children. And if you don't have children, put it into your nieces and nephews. If you don't have nieces and nephews, go find you a group of youth, volunteer with them, and go put it into them. Whatever your skills are, your knowledge is, again, share that with them. Like for me, my children, and I'll just share a small example with my oldest daughter. She's a swimmer. Endurance level has to be incredibly high to do that sport.
Exactly.
I always tell her, I'm like, look, genetically, your father's a marathon runner. I've run 50Ks, I run marathons, I do my thing. And I'm up for long periods of time. So I have a high endurance level. My mother was a big high school track runner at Hardin High School. So you have that going for you. She had records. My father, he was real good at basketball and football in high school. So I'm like, you have that preceding you. And then as far as my wife's side, her mother was great at softball and baseball. So she was an incredible athlete. Her father, which was a great track runner at Myers Park in high school, he was a great athlete, and now he's a barber. So he's been, I think, cutting hair over 30 years, because my wife is 33. He's been cutting hair for 34. So, and that's not a small time. Like, he's the only barber in his shop. He owns it. You know, he's the only barber in there. So standing on his feet for hours at a time, and you over 60, that's you know, an attestament to endurance as well. So I always tell her, I'm like, genetically, sweetheart, you are predisposed to having an edge on the competition. If nothing else, genetically, you got an edge on the competition. Now, we're going to fine tune it with me pouring in time and me pouring in my commitment, my education, me and my wife dropping you off at practices, taking you to whatever trainings and things of that nature. You explain to your kids, like, yo, we trying to make a plan for you to, you know, and you break it down like, yo, you can get those Jordans, but man, you could also get a private swim trainer for 2 months for that same price.
Right.
Now that's all I'm saying to you. You know what I'm saying? You know, a funny joke that Cat Williams had back in the day on one of his first stand-ups, he kind of broke it down. Like, you know, he took his kid to, I think the joke was he took his kid to Payless, took him to Nike. Nike, he wanted the Jordans. Took his kid to Payless, the same Jordans, he got 5 pairs of shoes and was like, man, daddy, I think I run faster than the Batmans.
Right. I run faster than the
Quit.
Batman.
Exactly. Quit teaching your kids commercialism. Quit
Yeah.
teaching your kids and anybody quit teaching them to value commercialism and capitalism. I get it. It takes money to survive. It takes money to live comfortably. We live in America. I get it. But you don't have to teach them to. I mean, I just want my kids or anybody I know to make well-informed decisions. And I feel like we're lacking the commitment and the drive to make well-informed decisions. It's not necessarily the knowledge we're lacking now, because the knowledge is a click away.
Yeah.
So it's not the knowledge anymore. It's the commitment and desire to say, man, I shouldn't eat chitlins. Man, I shouldn't go to sleep and after I just ate a full course meal at 10 p.m.
Right.
Like
talk to me.
Come on, man. Like, you know what not to do. But
right.
Again, it's the commitment and the desire. Like, if you put it down on paper. Like I say, you got cats who are, CEOs, and they got, they're in management positions. So when you're in those type of positions professionally, I have to believe you're at a certain level of intellect that you can make a plan and work a plan.
Yeah.
What's wrong with committing that same amount of resolve to your own lifestyle or your own personal health and wellness? What's wrong with that? Or why is that not happening?
Right.
Like, I get it. You're not getting paid capital, but maybe you're saving some money. Maybe you're saving on that prescription. Maybe you're saving on the knee replacement. Maybe you're saving on the cortisone shots, which cortisone shots are just a fancy Band-Aid.
Right.
Because after you take, no doctor in this world can give you a cortisone shot and tell you that pain is going to go away for an allotted amount of time. They can suggest to you to get it, and it might work for 7 days. It might work for 7 minutes. And guess what? They still gonna charge you the same amount.
The same amount.
But there's no promise or guarantee that cortisone shot or things of that nature or that Tylenol is going to work for you, or the residual effects that it has.
Right.
You're getting cortisone shots. You're basically telling your body natural healing properties to, hey, man, y'all can go take a vacation. Because we got this magic shot and we're going to rely on that. We're not even going to work y'all. We're not going to work y'all.
Right.
So let them get tired. Let those healing properties get worn out. And I'm going to keep relying on cortisone and Tylenol. But again, you're not getting headaches because you're stressed. You might just be getting headaches because all you drank was 1 bottle of water and 3 cups of juice. Hydrate properly. You might not be getting those headaches from, everything. Oh man, I ate grease, and I get, your physical food that you're intaking may not be of the best quality, but water flushes you out. Water cleanses you. If you think about it, again, going back factual and scientific, when we sweat, we're expunging toxins. We're putting out the bad stuff. When we spit, we're putting out bacteria. Spit is not healthy for another person to swallow because it's our bacteria. It's bad shit that's coming out of us. So again, and you can't spit without water.
Right.
So again, if you don't have water, you can't spit. You can't sweat. So when people get in, I've had one of the funniest things, right? One of the funniest things I hear as a trainer is someone tell me, man, I'm getting all sweaty. I say, yeah, because you're alive, bro.
Right.
Yeah, because you're alive, sweetie. Like, you must have did really well at drinking water. Again, that's my positive reinforcement on it. I'm like, man, you did a great job at drinking water. That's why you so sweaty. Man, Darius, I'm sorry about spitting. You must have drank water well. Again, that's a sign as a trainer or anybody who knows about proper bodily functions. You should look for those things subtly, and you don't even have to comment on it to your client, because they may be grossed out about it or anything of that nature. You don't want to make them uncomfortable, but you as the trainer subconsciously say, man, I noticed, okay, they're sweating. They're that means they're not exhausted, they're not dehydrated. Those are good signs. I can keep this workout going, or I need to dial it back. But yeah.
That's I like that. I'm listening. I'm over here thinking about when the last time I sweat. Now I can't remember the last time I sweat like for something good. But I'm over here like I'm about to get my life together, bro. I promise. I'm gonna get my life together, son. I just when you're like busy doing like the hands-on things, and then like And then you're not as and then there's no excuse really, because I got up early. I wake up at like 7, 8, whatever. And like, I could go up in the morning and run or walk. And I told my wife, like, I'm going to get up and walk. And like, I laid right in that bed. But so, yeah. So like, I love the wisdom that you just dropped just now, bro. So I really appreciate that. Hopefully y'all soak that all in. So we're at an hour and 5 minutes right now. This is crazy. I told you, like, it was going to go by real quick.
It flies by, man.
Yeah, I wanted to go in and see. I had like a few questions here from them, and then we would go into my like speed round if we got time. And
I mean, I got time.
Well, you've been dropping. Okay, so yeah, we good. We Gucci. So
I might have to throw a charger on my phone or something like in the next 30 minutes, maybe.
Nah, you good. We ain't gonna be that long because I gotta pay for editing too. So
oh, bet. Feel that.
You know that after an hour they start going up on rates. But but no. So well, Mr. Antonio Antoine Speller wanted to know what you do for how has COVID-19 affected you, Mr. Speller?
Oh, I see that. Oh, what's up, Antoine? How you doing, man? So how has COVID-19 affected me? The gym that I work at, 9 Round Dilworth, we were shut down. Governor Cooper here in North Carolina, we can't open up physically in the gym until phase 3, which has been pushed out 5 more weeks. So that was a bit disheartening. Again, I've been there 5 years, but financially I was able to, fortunately, again, thrive with more moves. I'm a coach locally. I've coached at charter schools and private schools, and a lot of those parents have reached out and said, hey, we need to keep our kids active during this whole downtime because, of course, the schools were closed. So affectionately, all I did was create programs which would minimize attendance and keep the boundary safe. I took out all the equipment that I would bring, so no one's coming in contact with equipment. And then any workouts I would do, they're spaced out enough from each other that no one, at least we're minimizing the risk. I can't, of course, say we're nullifying it completely legally, but we are trying to minimize the risk. And all of my workouts that I conducted were outdoors. And we all had, of course, with my company, we all had parents sign waivers. Sorry about that. And so that went well, and I was able to thrive with that. So I've been again hosting boot camp since March. So we shut down in March. I think I started at the end of March. I was supposed to run a lot of races this year. One of them was supposed to be in Spain at the end of April. Didn't get to go do that because, of course, Europe shut down. That was going to be my birthday, anniversary, wife's birthday, all in one. So we missed that. But other than that, as far as it affected me personally, I mean, I think that's about it. Like the gym being shut down, that's probably the greatest effect it's had on me. Other than that, I mean, I've been feeling good. Like we've been taking the kids to the beach a few times. Again, my daughter's a swimmer. I love being outside. I'm outdoorsy. Like I gotta get out there. So we've gone to the beach. We've gone hiking. You know, so as much as active as we can be, as outside as we can be, we've been that. But yeah, other than that, it hasn't affected me. I've been staying healthy, no coughing, no sneezing. Gotten tested. I didn't have it. So hopefully that is, I mean, I'm feeling good. Good.
That's good. You know, and I like what you said. Like you guys have been going to the beach. You guys went hiking. Like you're not. And the reason why I wanted to highlight this is because a lot of people have gotten into their minds like, oh, we're stuck and like, you know, we can't do anything. But, you know, I really want people out there who are listening, like make sure you spend, you know, good quality time with your family. You get them out the house, go walk in the park, go kick a ball or something, like go do something outside with your family. And like you said, and even if it's just bike rides or walk, you know, whatever it is, do that with your family. And then, so I wanted to ask you this last question dealing with purpose. So what does purpose mean to you?
What does purpose mean to me? I think I wrote something down, but I don't know. Something that, I mean, I started with just saying like something you'll fight for, something that you feel like you can't live without. Like I strongly, like for me, I think my purpose in life is to instill in people a sense of hope and a sense of value for health and wellness and in its totalitism. So like when you say health and wellness, some people kind of simplify it to just the body or just the physical. And you have to be healthy mentally to go that distance or to surpass your self-imposed limitations.
Yeah.
Because that's generally what they are. Like a lot of times when we don't surpass something or we don't achieve something, it's because we placed a limitation on ourselves. And and that just comes from people's sense of accountability or lack thereof.
Yeah.
A lot of people have an extreme lack of accountability, I feel, where they just will not say to themselves in every situation, no matter what it is, I am at fault in some way. In some way, I'm at fault.
Yeah.
I go into almost every situation, good, bad, ugly. Some way I could have improved it or I could have done better. But in that same breath, I don't beat myself up about it.
Yeah.
I go into it with a positive attitude as that thing that I identified as a weakness or a
Yeah.
shortcoming. I need to work on it, and I'm going to positively work on that. And hopefully I don't let these other things that I'm nurturing or these other skills that I have diminish. But sense of accountability, man.
Yeah.
My purpose, again, I think is just to instill that hope in hopefully people when they're around me, like they feel good. Like they feel like, man, you know, Demo cool. Like I know I can tell him about it. And I had those situations. Like I've had, again, I'm a part of so many people's fitness journeys and so many people's different walks of life.
Yeah.
Like I volunteered with the homeless for like 7 years now. Running Works is probably my favorite form of outreach
Yeah.
in Charlotte because, again, I run. They have a dope program, Running Works. And then also Block Love Charlotte. They're a newer organization. I think they were created end of last year. But Deborah Denise runs them, and she's Deborah Denise. And she runs Block Love Charlotte, and it's a really, really dope organization.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Wow.
they got it going.
That's dope.
But yeah, anything I can be a part of, again, trying to help out, man. I volunteer my time. Again, when I went into the running thing, seeking it as a professional, with me having those principles of purpose, one of the things I had to consider, and some people find a challenge with this, finding a profession where I can make my own schedule for the most part. So
Yeah.
with 9 Round, I'm an employee. Even when I was at the running stores, I would email my availability in. Anytime they would try to schedule me or anyone tries to schedule me outside of the times I give them, I professionally and politely communicate, I cannot work those times. These are the times
Right.
I've given you. You can put me down for any of that, or you can subtract any of that. It's not a problem.
Right.
Because again, when you're sure about yourself and you know what you're working and you believe in yourself and your purpose, what that machine can do, what that backdrop can do, won't affect the star. The curtain should never affect the star.
Right. Come on now.
And that's what the curtains are. Like your curtains are your Fortune 500 companies. Your curtains are that background, that noise. That's you gotta nurture it. You can't just let something keep buzzing in your ear. You gotta
Right.
nurture it. You can't just let
Right.
the curtain sit there. You gotta dust them. Gotta brush them
Mm.
off. Gotta tend to
Right.
them. But again, I'm the star. I have to be able to thrive in those moments where, okay, the allotted amount of hours I gave them, they didn't fill them. That's cool. I've set up provisions where that's fine, and I can still go help out on Friday with Running Works. I can still show up to my daughter's talent show on Thursday. I can still show up to my daughter's swim meets and time them
Yeah.
after I done worked for 10 hours, 8 hours, whatever, working clients,
Wow.
whatever, and still go time every single one of my daughter's swim meets. I
Mm.
missed one. I did miss one last year because I was
Yeah.
taking college courses and my professor had us take a test on one of her swim meets. But
Yeah.
of the 6 that she had, I didn't miss another one and took her to
Wow.
regionals and all that. But
Wow.
again, working your believing in yourself, knowing your purpose, identifying it, and having those simple goals like I want to have a job or a profession where I can make my own schedule. I want to have a lifestyle where I wake up with my children every single day. Those are my goals for me. That's what
Right.
started it. Like when I decided to adapt this running, this
Mm-hmm.
healthy eating, all of this type of things, those principles, and with me knowing those are my principles, I can always reflect on them. I can always go back to them. And that's why you hear me say things at the beginning when I was saying, like, if nothing else is at that finish line, my kids are. And they
Right.
usually are. I usually bring my family when I travel, educate them, take them to museums, take them to outreach programs while we're on the road. Me and my wife always make sure we educate them amongst the natives of the place we're in. You know, so we value that. You should always do that. Like, I mean, yeah, you can go on vacation, but put some work in. You can put a little bit of work in. It's 24 hours in a day. 24 hours in a day. Like, you can put a little bit of work in. Walk them kids there. Like, quick gym. If you don't know, Washington, D.C., I don't know how it is with COVID, but prior, Washington, D.C. has tons of museums, tons of history up there at the Capitol, and it's free to get in. Wow. The only thing you're paying for is the gifts. So why are you not, okay, go get a hotel, drive 5-6 hours, go to D.C. and know that all of your attractions are free. Right. African-American History Museum, Aeronautics Museum, where they where they had the space shuttles and first airplanes by the Wrights brothers and things of that nature. So when we went to D.C., I had to run the Marine Corps Marathon. I took my family on like an 8-mile walk amongst museums. The day before, I had to run 26.2. Wow. Jeez. So when I tell cats,
you a hustler.
Yeah, I'm going. Like, I'm going. I'm not. Dang. It's that's crazy for me. For me, it's I don't do well with excuses given to me, so I don't want to do well with giving them to others. Right. You shouldn't get none from me. Like, when you came to me, I told you, brother, when I first met you, anytime you call me, you want to meet up, I'm gonna put you on the calendar. We're gonna do our thing. Every time you done call me,
we didn't did that.
We do that.
Right.
I try to communicate well and just say, hey, folk, I'm gonna be there or I can't. Or I can't do Tuesday, I do Thursday. So I mean, and nobody's perfect, and I'm far from it. Nobody's perfect, but I mean, I feel like the more consistent and the greater desire we have to at least strive to progress past our shortcomings and just our falsities. I mean, you have to try. You just got to try. Right. Like, you at least got to try.
Just got to try. Trying
every single day.
Very fundamental.
Yes.
Trying is fundamental to success. Trying is fundamental.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, man. So Demo, I'm gonna call you Demo for now. I can call you Demo, or do I?
Yes, sir. You call me Demo, yes, sir.
Demo. Or I could call you Moore. I could call you Darius. It just doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, but we informal now,
right? But yeah, man. Now. So I'm very thankful for being able to get this opportunity to interview you, man. And, we were supposed to. There's something coming up that you have going on, or are there any future events you have going on that we need to know about?
Yes.
People can follow you.
Yes, you do. So yeah, social media real quick. Instagram, you can follow me at Busy Overboard. You see that one right there. That's my personal page. If you want my business page, which I constantly highlight, put up workouts and promote health and wellness, that is at More_Moves Fitness, and I'll spell that at MOORE_MOVES_FITNESS. More_Moves Fitness. You can check that out. My website is moremoves.com. You can definitely go there and check out some history, see some dope pictures, people I've collabed with and worked with. I just got, actually Saturday, I just got reelected to the board of directors for the Charlotte Running Club. So I will be serving a 2-year term for that. Thank you. Dope. Thank you, man. I didn't have that information to share with you prior.
Yeah, but you got Saturday, it now, though. So that's and now they know.
Exactly. So y'all, if you need anything, man, I'm a part of the Charlotte Running Club. We help organize several runs around the city, man. One of my favorites, who I'm also a partner with and an ambassador for, is the NODA Run Club, which is at NODA Brewery. We're actually going to start back our physical runs tomorrow night. We'll stagger start from 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Okay. Just so we kind of maximize that safety bubble. So we don't want, how we did it in the past, we would start at 6:30 p.m. We'd have huge groups because it's the oldest brewery run club in the city, NODA Run Club. Okay. So feel free to check us out if you want to come out. I'll definitely be there tomorrow. I don't know if my family's going to accompany. If they do, they're always welcome to come. They've been before several times. So
how far is that one? Is it a certain distance or?
For that particular run club, they do a 1 mile, a 3 mile, and a 5 mile route. And then they have laminated route cards you can take. And if you case that, they also have a digital version of the map as well, which I forget the app that they use for that. But they have an app that has the route on it. It'll like tell you turn by turn. Also, when you go on the route, they'll have arrows that are spray painted purple and green to kind of differentiate the different routes.
Okay. Can
So
people
it's
walk if they come out there? Do they have to
yes,
run,
you
or
can.
they can walk?
Yes, you
Okay.
can. You
Yeah.
can walk. We have dog walkers that come out because they are a pet friendly pub. So you have dog walkers that come out. Again, my wife is not a big runner, but she will walk. She will walk like all day. So she's come
walk all
out.
day.
Yeah, she'll walk all day. Like
Yeah.
she's come out several times and has done the 3 miler. She's done the 1 miler. We've done 5 mile routes on trails and stuff.
Yeah.
So as far as the run club, she's done both the 1 and the 3. My kids have done it. So if you ever feel like, man, I can't run 3 miles, my 9-year-old has done it. My 15-year-old has done it. I used to coach my 15-year-old with girls on the run. So she's run 5K since she was 8 years old.
Wow.
So
bring my kids to you. When I have some kids, I'm gonna bring my kids to you.
What I do, man. It's what I do.
So y'all make sure y'all hit him up. Please hit him up. Please hit him up. If you're interested in running, if you're in Charlotte or you're not in Charlotte, because we got virtual now. He can virtually coach you, like you said. You don't have to move from your house. You can do everything in your house. So definitely hit him up. Busy Overboard. Check him out there. And also, like he said, he has his personal page. And do you prefer them hitting you up on your personal page or Busy Overboard, or should they hit you up at your other one at more?
They can do
moves?
either. I mean, you can do either because I'm gonna talk about both on each page. So it's like for me, because some people say, "Man, business is personal." My business is very personal. So some things you'll see me post on Busy Overboard, and I forget that I didn't post it on More Moves. So again, if you follow both, exactly. So you might as well follow both and enjoy the show.
Yeah, enjoy the show, guys. But Darius Moore, I appreciate you, brother. You've been a blessing for the Purpose Pod. And let your wife know I'm shouting her out again. Tanika Moore right here, Vanilla Setbacks. Make sure y'all go cop the book, cop a copy.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And support this family because they are doing big things out here in Charlotte and throughout the world. So I'm going to continue to support you, bro. I'm going to continue to I'm going to be on the sideline when I'm ready to get the baton, whenever, the relay race, whenever I'm ready for that.
Come on, man.
I'm like I said, I got to stretch my ankle. I got to stretch my toe. I got to stretch. But yeah, all right, Moore. I appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man. Appreciate y'all. Darius
Moore runs, man, more moves, man. He's the guy, man. Like, look, I'm telling you, when I get right, I'm gonna get right. Y'all think I'm playing around? I'm gonna get right. I'm gonna get right first. Give me about 2 months after graduation, maybe January, February. Let's move it over in July. But July, I'm gonna start running again. Y'all keep playing around out here. But man, he dropped so much knowledge and wisdom. I'm just like, I was writing stuff down. I was like, Alan, you got to stop writing stuff down because he's over here speaking his truth. So I'm gonna go back and watch some more because this has been really, really good. So make sure y'all go check him out. You guys see it right here. Follow Coach Moore on IG, Busy Overboard, and visit www.moremoves.com and check out his wife's book, Vanilla Setbacks. This has been another episode of The Purpose Pod. I am the crazy, the magnificent, the man of the hour, Alan Levi Simmons. Let's turn up right